Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops, and I'm coming to you after a horrible Buffalo Bills loss, but this isn't about football, this is about hoops. So a relatively light night of NBA action, only 4 games on the schedule, but the biggest story of the night, the biggest topic, is the Raptors' insane comeback versus the Washington Wizards. This is a game that the Wizards owned basically from early on in the first quarter, and they had a lead as big as 23 deep into the second half, but the Raptors go on a crazy 22-1 run to close this game to beat the Wizards 111-107. So at the start of this 22-1 run, the Wizards were up 17 in the fourth quarter. They didn't make a field goal for like 10 straight attempts or something. It was ridiculous. But the Wizards collapsed down the stretch, and the Raptors steal this game. Like, this is a game that was lost, it was over, but the Raptors said, we're not giving up until the buzzer sings, until the buzzer goes off for the end, and they really didn't. They fought all the way back thanks to 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals from Pascal Siakam. Just a Siakam masterclass, a plus 18 for this game. You know, rightfully so, everybody so far for the season has been talking about Scottie Barnes and how good Scottie Barnes has been, but Pascal Siakam just reminded everybody that this has been his team for multiple years now. He is an all-star and an all-NBA caliber player. People probably remember he dropped 50 in the Garden last year, huge game, but this one might be even more of a statement game from Siakam because he was just so unstoppable down the stretch and hit the lead-taking shot that would essentially be the game winner. Has Jordan Poole on him, drives into the lane, he kind of stops on a dime and then pulls this midi, hits the front rim, bounces once, and goes in. And with that, the Raptors win. They move to 5-5 on the year. I talked about it before the year, said the Raptors are going to shock the league this year, and they're going to be pretty good. And I think through their first few games, we've seen that they're pretty good. And this is a game against the Wizards. Like, let's be fair, the Wizards aren't great, but the Raptors didn't have 2 of their best 7 players. No OG Anunoby and no Gary Trent Jr. That's probably 2 of their best 6, honestly. But yes, no OG, who's the best defender on the team and has been really good to start the year, and no Gary Trent Jr., who's the 6-man elite scorer for this team. So they have to start Otto Porter Jr., who only ends up playing 14 minutes and has 5 points. Otto was not super impactful in this game, but off the bench, they had a few guys that played some minutes and made an impact, mainly Precious Achiuwa, Malachi Flynn, and Grady Dick, as well as Chris Boucher, who was pretty solid down the stretch. But Scottie Barnes, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals in this game, continues a very good start to the year, and Jakob Poeltl with 13 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 5 assists. A lot more assists than you're usually going to get from Jakob, and Dennis Schroder has his worst game of the year, 1 of 12 from the field for 4 points, but somehow still manages to be a +2 with 6 assists. So although the shooting wasn't there for Dennis, he still made an impact with his defense and his passing. But Pascal Siakam was phenomenal in this game, and the near 40 piece won them this game. That, like I said, was over. Like, this shouldn't be possible. You shouldn't be able to end a game on a 22-1 run to steal a victory. Like, that just doesn't happen. It's the biggest comeback victory in Raptors franchise history, I believe they said on the broadcast, and Siakam was fantastic. Siakam and Scottie are both all-star caliber players now, and could, if the Raptors continue to win games, they could both make the all-star game, which would be super fun for Toronto. But this is a huge win. It's a very, very positive and a statement win. This is a great win for the Raptors, and I'd say their best win of the season so far, considering all the circumstances. Just looking at a couple guys for Washington who were good in this game. Kyle Kuzma, 34 points, 14 of 25 shooting, so I think that's about 60% from the field, something like that. Daniel Gafford continues a really good start to this season. He's been phenomenal, legitimately. But 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks for Daniel Gafford, almost with a double-double, and he's averaging like over 3 blocks a game this year. He's been really, really good. Jordan Poole continues to struggle efficiency-wise to start the year. 14 points, 6 of 16 from the field. But Tyus Jones, 8 assists and no turnovers, continues to be the league's assist-to-turnover king, but Mike Conley's been great in that area too. But the Raptors, behind Pascal Siakam, storm back from 23 down in the second half to win this game against Washington and send the Wizards to 2-8. But now let's shoot around the league, look at some different scores, some different players who played well, and just get an idea of what happened on this night of NBA action. So, in other action from around the NBA, there were 3 other games, and I'd say the one people were most anticipating was a Celtics versus Knicks rematch, a game that already happened this season and was really close. It was a really good game the first time. This game, not quite as good. It wasn't quite as close. The Celtics win 114-98 behind 35 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists from Jason Tatum, who continues a great start to the year. He has his name firmly in MVP conversations at this point in the season. Tatum has been really good. They also get 22 from Jaylen Brown and 21 from Porzingis. It feels like all 3 of those guys are giving you 20 plus on any given night. Julius Randle has 25, Brunson has 26, and RJ Barrett, who's been probably the best Knick so far this season, doesn't play in this game because of a migraine. He's shooting over 50% from 3 and like 22 points per game. RJ Barrett has been great, but Julius Randle was fine in this game, and so was Brunson, but without Barrett, they just couldn't keep up with Boston because of how good Boston is. Then we'll move to Bucks versus Bulls, as Giannis continues a crazy stretch this season. Over his past 3 games now, he has had 54, I think 35 in the one before this one, and he has 35 in this one as well. Giannis finishes with 35 points and 11 rebounds in the Bucks' 118-109 victory over the Chicago Bulls. Damian Lillard's still really struggling for Milwaukee, but they get the win anyway. But Dame, 12 points on 3 of 17 shooting, as well as 5 turnovers. Hopefully Dame turns it around, but it's not looking great for him to start the year. And then Nikola Vucevic, who quietly has been really, really awesome for Chicago to start the year, has 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. Too bad the Bulls aren't all that good, because if they were, there would be a real case for Vooch to be an all-star again for the first time for a full season since he left Orlando, but the Bulls lose that one. And then there's one game that's still going on. It's kind of late, so I'm going to talk about it now. But the Kings are up in the third quarter on the Cavs, 89-78, and De'Aaron Fox's first game back from injury. He'd been out with that rolled ankle since October 29th, and he has 19 points right now on 8 of 15 shooting. He's been good, really good first game back for Fox. They also have 17 from Kevin Huerter and 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists from Domantas Sabonis. It looks very likely he'll get either his second or third straight triple-double. I think it might actually be his third straight. He's been great to start the year as well. And then for the Cavs, it is 17 from Donovan Mitchell and 14 from Darius Garland. But it looks like the Kings are probably going to take that one. They're up 12 right now in the third quarter. But that's all the games. But as always, let's get into the last segment, which I always want to do, is the top 5 players from the night according to the Real Sports app. Now, obviously, the games aren't quite done, so this is at this moment in time, but I want to, kind of shout out who the best performers on any given night were and get a glimpse at who really played well. But tonight, starting off with number 1 is Jason Tatum with 35 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. At number 2, we have Giannis with 35 points and 11 rebounds. Pascal Siakam at 3, 39 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. I'd say Siakam should be 1, but hey, that's just me. Then at number 4, Nikola Vucevic with 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Sabonis, despite his game still going on, is already number 5 with 18 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. He could finish within the top 2 or 3 if they win the game and he continues to play really well. But that'll do it for this night in the NBA. Another night in the NBA. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 12,000 subscribers, so if you enjoy the daily recaps, subscribe and give them a watch every day. But thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.